Hello everyone, so it's raining outdoors, so we are in a garage and we're gonna show you the exercise of rescuing people when they fall in a deep crevasse. So here is the victim, here is the second, and here is the third, and yeah, I let you speak. So we are walking, strange way, but it should be, you know, yeah, straight. So he simulates falling. So now
I will start already going down, basically falling myself to the ground, trying to make as much as possible of contact with my crampons, trying to take the, okay, we'll do it on the other side, trying to take the piolet that we'll have it here, but we'll mention more about the piolet when we are there or in our video or whatever. We just put here the thing, yeah, there's more tension, but, and we would like either stop like this or stop like this, putting our body to one side so we can anchor ourselves and stop the victim. This strange shape wouldn't really happen because we will be more or less in a straight line. So in that case, in this case, Kata would be behind me. So then she would also help in some way because she would also fall, or not even fall, but at least she would throw herself and stop with the crampons. So we are two people stopping, one with the friction of the snow should be okay. Something to mention, and we have those knots in between the rope, in between each person. There will be around 2 of them, 15 meters between each person. Those are the ones that will help in the lip of the crevasse to make more friction basically and to make it stop in that position. So, knots, 2 people, no almost possibility for 2 people to fall on the crevasse. Once we are like this, we are anchored. We have a lot of load here because there is the, can you go? there is the victim that it's making a lot of strength here, so I have like a lot of power here. I can't basically do anything. I have to be really well with the crampons on the ground, still holding my anchor like this. I have to make here an anchor point. It's a bit on the other side, but yeah, it's a bit here on the other side. We will mention this in another video or whatever, because it's on the snow, you have to use your piolet. It can really not be realistic right now, so it doesn't make sense to do it. Let's say that we put here our piolet below the snow, it's our anchor point, it simulates this one that we have right now here. We'll have one of those links that's realistic, hanging from here. And now our objective from here is to transfer the load that we have here, that will be quite a lot, to this sling here. For that, first of all, we had this prusik loop here attached to ourselves while we were walking. We just had it with slightly like tension. It doesn't have to be even under tension right now. Let's say that it was like this. We have this tension. It shouldn't be that much tension, yeah. So it will be more like this realistically. It's a bit okay. It would be like this under tension a lot. This wouldn't be really doing nothing, but this prusik, as simple as just having it here for all the way, will make us way easier our life in this case. First of all, because we have to use this as an anchor, so we would take just a carabiner, attach the carabiner to the anchor, and this is right now our anchor that we will use to be attached out from ourselves all the way and transfer the load to the anchor point. So now, we use this prusik system that basically it's a loop that goes like this, and when it's under tension it will block to both sides. So with this taken into account, the objective is to release the body and have this not without tension. To do this, we will just without any kind of tension, having everything on us, we would deattach this prusik, lock again the carabiner, have this attached to the main anchor point. And right now that we are like this, as you see the prusik is quite long, we will try to reach as much as we can. And now, I can't really simulate it because there is no enough space, but yeah, okay. We would go like really slowly, putting everything like this, moving our piolet or whatever, going slowly till this goes under tension, and then would slowly, I will be able to release myself, and all the tension will be right now here. So what we have right now here, first, all the weight on the anchor, but still we have to back up this constantly. Right now we are like this. This is our backup, but we have to mount here a pulley system. For that we have to release ourselves somehow, so we have this rope free to work on. To be able to do that, we're gonna simulate one of the automatic devices that we have here, that basically what we need is something that will break our rope so we don't have to be on it, and something to pull over it. We can just use a carabiner in this case. To make that happen, we will have to release from here. To be able to release from here, if we would remove this directly, we would be not safe anymore, and if we fall into a crevasse, it's over. So for that we will just use another prusik. This might be quite too long, but I'm not really sure, but yeah, whatever. Okay, we can use the long one, yeah, no problem. We will take another loop. Of course, the prusik loops and so on we will explain there. It doesn't take so much time to learn. It doesn't make sense now to explain so much. We would go into the main rope here, still taking into account that right now we have 2 anchors, so we are as the backup of the main system, so we are not afraid to fall at any moment. We will go here the prusik.
Anchor as a backup, and third one as a backup too.
And when we will move, then I should stay put. So, like at any time, one person at least should stay on the ground, so that they are the backup in case the anchor fails.
Exactly. Constantly we have always one on the back, not moving at all. Even if they want to come to help, they shouldn't. They will just stay there with their pullet on the ground, 2 crampons, really steady on the front. So we have here our prusik. This will be our basically line of life. We will move this a bit to the front to have a bit of slight tension, let's call it. And we should now transfer ourselves to that one. We should, actually I don't really know how would be the best way to do this to be safe, but yeah, let's say it would be the best to put this inside, remove it down, take this out, feeling still safe, lock it. And now we are still attached to the main rope. If we fall wherever it is, to the back, to the front, to the side, we'll still be safe enough. This can hold our weight without a problem if it's not a big fall. And now we have this rope totally free to make with it the pulley system right in this area. So what shall we do? We just go and we release first of all this knot here, so we can work with it. Still taking into account that if right now the anchor fails or whatever, this would fly, but I would have another backup right there waiting for me. I'm also really well anchored, and I would also stop it with this. Now that this is released here. Okay, so first, just to mention, we did a small modification here, so it's more realistic, again because we don't have a lot of space, so this is just a bit shorter. We're in the same position as we were. I'm with my prusik to the main line, I have my backup cord there, I have my victim there. Now, the process would be that the first and most important thing is that I have to go and check if the victim is conscious or unconscious. That will really determine on what type of system we are gonna make here to be able to pull him out. To do that, I will first go to check on the victim. What you're seeing here, this shape, it's not really realistic. As we mentioned earlier, Kata will be behind me, so this would look more like this going to this side. That's why we would always have a backup cord on this side, so I can safely go there because I have my anchor point with all the load, and if it fails, I have Kata holding myself from the backside. So said that, we can go safely to check on it, because right now it might look that if this breaks, we are over, but this won't be the real case. So we have our big prusik loop. Always, of course, we have to go a bit low, we have to be safe, not to step on some places that might be dangerous, but let's say that we can go quite easily. Again, the prusik, you can just slide it wherever you want. Now we will find ourselves with some stopping knots in the middle of it, in the middle of our path, and we still have to reach there because this will be again like around 15 meters. We can't really just shout from here or look at from here if he is not unconscious. If he is not conscious, sorry. So to overcome this knot, we would basically have to, as this is a butterfly knot again, the same as we would have in our harnesses, we can directly attach ourselves to it, even though it might be a bit more comfortable to use a small slug, sling, whatever you want to have a bit more freedom, but let's say that this is the minimum amount of material that you have. That's what we're simulating right now. We just attach ourselves to it. That's not the best case because I have my prusik on the other side, so touch myself like this, and now I'm safe on it. Now I just have to flip the prusik over it, so yeah, I have to get out the prusik. Again, once I get it out from here, I have two backups back there. I am still like, I can be well anchored right here, and I'm attached to the main line, so I'm perfectly safe. I detach from here the prusik loop, and I attach it on the other side. Okay, always make sure to make it perfect. Let's see. This is like this. Now we have our prusik. We attach ourselves again to the prusik. Once the prusik is inside, we can detach ourselves from the butterfly knot, lock the carabiner, take again our prusik, go here, go to the lip of the crevasse, and check on the victim. If the victim is conscious,
Unconscious.
or if he's unconscious,
I'm not unconscious.
if he's unconscious, I guess we can explain that once we have the basics of how we would do it if he's conscious. Taking into account that would mean that he can move or whatever, and he won't have any kind of problem of constriction and losing his limbs because of lack of blood flow. Then we would just take our time and make the correct system, pull him out, and that's it. If he's unconscious, we would have to shorten some of the pulley systems that we will see now to be sure that he is not gonna have some permanent damages because we took too much time. So, as we were mentioning again, there was something that we just missed, nothing that much of an importance, but really important to do it in that correct sequence. So, I don't want to move now this, just to be a bit more fast and so on, so I can come back. But before me going to check on the victim if he's conscious or unconscious, when I was there on the ground and when I put my prusik on the main cord, at that moment I'm on the ground, as we mentioned. I had my backup anchor and the main anchor. Then I was loose and ready to go. Now I will just invert that. I will be like the secondary anchor. I will have the main anchor, and my colleague will be able to come to me so she can give me her piolet. That for what we will see right now. To do that, she can start coming directly. You can show. She can start coming with a prusik that she will already have as well as me. She will come on the rope and she will suddenly find one of those stopper knots on her way. But as this has no tension on it, she can just remove it without a problem, and she can continue the way till coming here, because as we mentioned, this will be around 15 meters, so it will be quite a long to go. She will come again. This will be something fast because she will be just 2 knots, 1 knot, a prusik already done. She just stands up and starts coming to us. In that case, I barely have to wait, and then I will be able to do 2 things when I'm in the lip. First of all, check on him and also make the lip safe for the cord to go down. She will give me her piolet. At that moment, one of my piolet, as it's on the anchor, I will have an extra piolet right now here. I will be able, if we are more people, to have also an extra piolet. We will see for what, or I will use also my backpack for that case, but let's say that at least I will have 1 more piolet and I will be able to progress with it. I go through it, I jump over the knot and so on, I'm coming here, and then it's all the process of checking on the victim if he's conscious or not. If he's conscious, okay, as we said, everything is okay. And now the important part is that if we imagine that this will be the lip of the crevasse, that will look something like this. If the rope is here and this is either ice will damage the rope, or if it's really soft snow, this will just go down because it will go eating the snow all the way up, and there will be like a lot of friction, and we won't really be able to extract him easily, or we will make really complicated the last part when he has to go over the lip. To make that easier, that piolet that we have right now here, we will just put it below the rope wherever we can, even if it's a bit more to the back, if the lip is here, and then we will put it inside. We will put it like this, and then we will put it as much as we can closer to the lip of the crevasse. That way, on the rope, we'll be just laying on the piolet. If we had one more piolet, having one like this, we would be able to just have some holes in them and so on, or we can use sling as we did the main anchor point that we will mention as we said in our video. Then we can just put another piolet here, attach it, sling, carabiner. This is just a backup to have in case this falls down to the crevasse. We have it backup for safety first of all, for not to fall on the head of the victim, and second, not to lose our piolet because we will still have to get back home somehow. So once we have this safe, we did two things in one. We checked the victim and we made the lip safe. Now this is ready to make an anchor point, and we start just pulling out the victim. We go. Okay, so now I just again came back to the anchor point. My job is almost done. Now all the other colleagues that we had behind that approached us as we remember, and she is also attached with a prusik, totally safe here. She will be the one making the pulley system and trying to pull out the victim. For that, we will basically need to have 3-to-1 system. That's why the name of the Z-Pulley, it's a Z-shaped one. So we would need first here on this side something that will act as a pulley. In this case, we will use just a carabiner. That carabiner can be used with a small rope to avoid some friction. In case we don't have no problem, this won't move really, so we can attach directly the carabiner here, and then we passed directly the rope that it's coming from the victim through this, and this will act as basically one inversion point of the direction of the traction, of the pulling. So once we have this like this, and she's again always safe on the rope, we will have to make the missing part of the Z-Pulley. So if it's coming from here, we will just have to go there and come back. I would be staying here constantly because I will be again the backup anchor, remember that, and then she will go a bit to the front, always being safe and not going that much into the crevasse, of course, not really close to the lip. And now she will build something that will be basically something to stop, a traction device to stop the traction and just pull like him to this side. She will use a prusik in this case to make things more simpler. And in the other side we will have another pulley that in this case will be again another carabiner. And that way she will be able to directly pull that part coming to this side, and we will pull him with a strength of 1/3 of his weight with a 3-to-1 pulley system. As you can see, she's attaching directly a prusik to the main cord. What that means that if she pulls to like my side, that will basically pull the victim to our side. And now we attach this to the loop that we have here created with this pulley / carabiner. She's attaching directly there, and now she can come back safely back, always holding the prusik. And now when she's back, as you can see, with her we have this Z system.
Okay, it was not a mistake, but actually this prusik should be before, like not in this part, but before the carabiner, so that when I pull the victim out, then I can move the prusik up on
In the same
rope.
time?
So now I'm just gonna change it, but this is just to be more efficient when rescuing.
We lock the carabiner.
So I come back to where the anchor point is, and now I can pull out the victim with less with the prusik. Okay. Yeah, you have to remember your prusik. You can talk.
No, just like a small mentioning that the best way to pull, it's always to have the prusik in the hand, so that way you are pushing it all the time to the front, and when you are just taking all this system back, the prusik is always keeping you safe. If you leave your prusik without moving into the front, if you fall somewhere or if something breaks, you will have a lot of slack to go. as I was talking, I was not moving here, but my job staying here would be to also move this prusik, because right now, as you can see, it worked. Don't pull more, but yeah, pull just a bit to see it in action how it's moving. You can see how it's moving, and that's it. So we see that the victim is going, basically she's doing almost no force, almost no strength, and it's still moving. I would be really importantly moving this all the time to the front, or basically just keeping it, that's as you see that. Because right now if she releases the tension and the victim is under tension, you can release a bit. You can release a bit, Hugo will be, he's like point. And as you can see, the system is still backupping all this weight. So she can just pull and release, pull and release. She doesn't even have to keep all the time the weight on his hand, on her hands. So that's important, just to hold this. Now that she is almost here, this is almost collapsing because there is a lot of space. She has to go again and put the prusik farther away to get again the traction, because we repeat this around 15 meters of slack. Now she will find herself with a knot right in the middle. What shall we do here? Again, this is not under tension, the part that she has. She basically has to remove that prusik from there, jump over the knot, and do it again. As you can see, we already jumped over the knot. Just a small thing to mention, also my job here, moving this one, but also moving my prusik a bit to the front. If not, it will collapse with the other prusik. So we will always keep both prusiks at a considerable distance. Now that she flipped over the knot, she can make a bit of tension as well. She can start pulling without a problem. Okay, as we said, we will go really closely approaching to the knot. This will be coming to our system. As we can see, it's approaching way more and more. We can go a bit more. To avoid this, now we will have to unknot this knot here. To do that, we have to basically put all the tension in this prusik, so we have this totally loose. So then we can unknot this knot here. To do that, she will basically be again anchored herself to the ground. She will be pulling this knot here, and then she will either, if you have some kind of sling here that you can use or whatever, or if not, she will try to approach as much as she can to the anchor point right now here, and taking into account that this is holding all the weight, so she can release it and there is no problem. The victim is still holding. She will attach directly with the carabiner of herself, not touching this carabiner, never, because this is the pulley system, and if in case of failure, nothing will stop it. She will attach herself with that one, because again, those two things that she has in that carabiner are just backup, nothing is really there under tension. Right now she will pull as much as she can. She will be on the ground, maybe not that much because it wouldn't be that realistic, but she will just stay there. But now what we should be able to do, we should be able to release the weight on this prusik, and this should be able to flow, because here we have some backup rope that should flow without a problem coming from the other side. And now she would be able to, or even I would be able here to unknot this, because she is as our backup anchor and shouldn't be doing stuff in the meantime. Once we unknot this, we can just proceed as we were. Again, this now should go in tension, so she would start pulling the system, she would be again pulling here. So she would be pulling the system normally, but still being anchored there, and once it's under tension, she would be able to release herself. So she pulls all the tension again. Now she can release herself from it. Now she can release herself again from there. Also drop tension, okay. And now she can back up again and continue doing all the process till the victim arrives in the end. We continue doing it, all the time the same, until in the last moment the victim finally reaches the lift. And we are safe.